Let's talk about an as-is sale. Now, in this market, sellers are listing their homes sometimes as is, and there isn't a reason for it to be a concern or a reason that they need to do that. The market is really competitive and it's lower stress if they do that. However, it can decrease demand on your home, which therefore decreases the amount of money you walk away with in your pocket. And so if you're going to list your home as is, I have an as is strategy that I highly recommend you use to make sure that we don't lose money by doing so. Now, in a previous market where it wasn't as competitive as it is now, a seller listing their home as is absolutely concerned a buyer and made them worry about what is wrong with the home and therefore decreased demand on the home and potentially made the seller walk away with less money. It still can happen, it's just less extreme because the market is so competitive. Now, there's situations that we sell as is pretty commonly. If it's an estate sale, it's pretty common. If the person who is actually taking care of and selling the home doesn't have a vested interest in making those repairs or spending that money, that's a time that people list as is. There are circumstances. Sometimes people are in really tough places financially when they're selling their home, and they simply just can't afford to make those repairs. And if that's the situation you're in, totally understand. Let's talk about it. I want you to feel good about what you're able to do. We're always going to give you the best case scenario, and at the end of the day, we have to work with what your circumstances are and create the best possible outcome out of whatever your circumstances are. That is our job. That is what makes us important and valuable to you. And so never be afraid to communicate that that's a challenge if it is. Now, in a multiple offer situation, a lot of times buyers now are purchasing a home as is to make their offer more compelling to you. If my clients choose to accept an as-is offer from their buyer, 100% I'm on the phone with that realtor making sure they understand what as-is means and that they have had that conversation with their client. So just because I know that doesn't mean that all realtors do. It also doesn't mean that just because they know it, they're having that conversation with their client, but it saves everybody a whole lot of hassle if we know what we're actually agreeing to. Now, an as-is sale means that they are agreeing to not ask for any repairs. The real estate contract allows the buyer to negotiate health and safety issues in the home per the inspection. If a buyer is purchasing the home as is, they still have their 5-day attorney review period. They still get to do their inspection and they can still cancel based on inspection issues. If that happens, we do have the option to go ask them if there's anything we can do to keep the contract together, because legally they aren't supposed to ask for anything. Some buyers and some attorneys will give us the courtesy of asking us if we want to know what can be done, or the buyer doesn't want to risk their earnest money by asking for something when they're not supposed to. So if we want to keep the transaction together, which is certainly in everybody's best interest, we can certainly ask what it is that was the deal breaker and see if it's something that maybe you would want to consider doing before we have to go relist your home. Make sure to check out the video on my as-is strategy.